N.FM. I am DJ Zouain, and this is the Hijack. Welcome to the Hijack. So, thank you for joining us. My name is DJ Zouain. The show is brought to you by the N.FM as per usual. And this is show number 305. Number 305. Pretty crazy. Pretty nutso. Cannot believe it. 305 shows. 305. I don't know what that means. I was wearing this shirt. For those of you listening to the audio, I'm wearing my 808 shirt. And my brother thought that I was talking about the area code 808. Which, for those of you who know the area code, congratulations. I did not know until he told me that it was Hawaii. So Hawaii is the area code 808, I guess. 808 is a drum machine. That's what I was. So anyway, the show is brought to you by the N.FM. It's brought to you by the Hijack. It's brought to you by Imperial Class Tattoos, Zouain Entertainment. Just go to the N.FM, man. Go to the N.FM. And you can grab you can actually get your medical marijuana card by just going to the N.FM and scrolling down and bloop, clicking on that Bud Docs button, because the show is also brought to you by Bud Docs. And yeah, you don't have to worry about being caught with weed by the 5-0. So yeah, a lot to get to today. Well, not a lot. A few things to get to. I'm going to try to have the Bud Doc on at the end of the show when we talk about Delta 8, because we posted the show. We posted a clip of the show where we talked about Delta 8, and let's just say Dr. Chanlatte, the Bud Doc, buddoc.org, he is not exactly a fan. Let's call it. Let's just call it. He's not a fan. He will not be an advocate of the Delta 8 in the form, to be clear, in the form that it is being delivered and used today. I think that's his main objection. He doesn't have an objection to the isomer, to Delta 8 THC. Because what you normally smoke is Delta 9 THC, and Delta 9 THC is what we typically talk about when we're talking about tetrahydrocannabinol. So, the problem is that Delta 8 being also a form of THC, it's being peddled as an equal when, at this moment, from what I can tell and from everything that I have experienced and I've tried, it's not the same. It's not the same. I know there are friends of mine who are like, oh, it tastes just like it. I can't tell the difference with the edibles. Fine. It's not the same. As somebody who has had his more than his fair share of Delta 9 THC and had a couple of dabs of that Delta 8 stuff, at least the dabs are not convincing. Maybe another administration, maybe another brand, maybe something that's actually FDA approved, maybe. I mean, look, I say that while at the same time I say, look, the street weed that I used to smoke is also not FDA approved. So there is that. However, the flower that even if it's street weed, you can bet your ass that it's going to be, for the most part, at least where I went, you could bet your ass that you were going to get good stuff, right? So here's the thing. At the end of the day, what we're looking for is to get some THC. And because of the Hemp Act, Delta 8 has been a loophole in cannabis world where people can actually get, can sell it like at gas stations and stuff. You could see it. But it's not the same. It is not the same. And I'm going to talk to him about that. The other thing is the R.Kelly cancel. The R.Kelly. R.Kelly has... adjusting myself here. Sorry, guys. My bad. Got to adjust myself. R.Kelly has been convicted officially. Not that we didn't know. I mean, like, there was the famous girl that he peed on that they settled and all of that stuff. You know, we didn't stop that. You know, I know that he's a piece of garbage. I know that he is now officially convicted of racketeering, sexual exploitation, exploitation of a child, kidnapping, bribery, sex trafficking, violation, in violation of the Mann Act, which... Could we have found a different name for it already? Dudes are getting. I know it's MANN. I know how they name things, but it sounds like another jab at dudes, which, you know, whatever. I guess it makes sense. Anyway, the point is that this garbage of a human being that we have to claim because he has a penis, he has made unquestionably music that we will never forget. Hits on hits on hits. Hell, I've played him in the last 10 years. I've played him in the last week, I think. Well, not the last week, like the last 2 weeks, I guess. And I think I might stop now. There are times when I was at gigs where I was... questioning whether or not that was going to be a song, because it does get... Look, Step in the Name of Love is a song that is requested at every wedding. Well, maybe not requested at every wedding, but it's definitely in play at every wedding. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not now. Certainly not when he was initially convicted. Or when he was initially picked up for it. But my question to you is, where do we draw the line? Because I had some interesting reactions toward this whole R.Kelly situation. And you know, one of the comments was about about Gary Glitter and about all of these other monsters in entertainment that we have given a pass to, the Michael Jacksons of this world. He didn't choose the best. he didn't choose the best example. He chose David Bowie, and that's not equivalent. It's not equal. And he prefaced it, you know. He said at the end of the statement that it wasn't the same thing. Here's a tip. If it's not the same thing, then don't bring it up. Because at the end of the day, it was a bad example when you could have used anybody. I mean, fucking Harvey Weinstein. How long did we go on watching the Weinstein films when people knew? How about Bill Cosby? How many people have canceled Bill Cosby? Gary Glitter. What was the other guy that? But he was like, David Bowie married or had sex with at least one 15-year-old groupie. Okay, that's bad. But is it sex trafficking? I mean, seriously. Like, if you're going to speak ill of the dead, don't... I mean, Michael Jackson's right there. Anyway, another commenter says that if they could find a better copy of the song they like by someone else, they'll listen to it. But if not, there's no... there was a good quote here. There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. So, I mean, that's been the history anyway. The history has been that. The history has been that these entertainers, depending on how talented they are, get away with almost literal murder. I'm sure I could find somebody that got away with murder. But... You know, there are people, and look, the people that are never going to listen to R. Kelly are never going to listen to R. Kelly. Like, if this was, I don't know, I'm trying to think of somebody that, you know, Tame Impala, a band that I happen to know their name. If it was just them. I don't really have much. It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, I'm not going to play Tame Impala. I might know one of their songs. I might play one of their tracks or two of their tracks, but I couldn't name a Tame Impala song if I didn't see it in front of me. But if they were to do something egregious, the leap for me not to listen to it is not a huge, because I haven't listened to them to begin with. There are going to be a ton of those people for R.Kelly, but I can tell you that there are a not insignificant amount of people that are making the decision now on whether or not listening to the Ignition remix is going to be in play. I know certainly as DJs. I mean, I'm DJing right now tonight. I'll be at George's Tavern. George's Tavern in Sanford, a staple in the Sanford drinking scene. You want to go over there and check it out. But am I going to play any R. Kelly? Hell no. I'm not playing. And you know what? They might be okay with it. That seems like the kind of bar that might be okay with it. But I could be completely misjudging. But I personally will not be playing that song probably ever again. I'm debating on whether or not to remove it from just my hard drive so I don't accidentally play it in some off idiotic, in some idiotic chance. So there's that. But whether or not you listen to R. Kelly, I mean, if you listen to him, I think that if we are going to separate the artist from the art, and we live in an age where digitally we can't do that. So every time you hit Ignition on Spotify or, Step in the Name of Love on Spotify, he's going to get a piece of that pie, a very minute piece of that pie, but a piece of that pie nonetheless. And do you want to give that to a rapist? The answer is probably no. So maybe the answer is to just go back to local media. And if you already had his music, then, you get to enjoy it. But if you don't have his music, then sorry, Because now, no matter what, unless you pirate, I guess if you pirate the music, I'm not saying you should pirate R. Kelly music. I'm not. But if you're gonna pirate some music, pirate the child rapist music. That doesn't sound right. That sounds wrong. Scratch that. I'm not sure that's not completely thought out. Either way, the point is that I personally will not be playing Mr. Robert Kelly anytime in the near future, probably ever again. So yeah, but what changed? That's my question, I guess, is what changed? Because I knew about the P thing, the P tape. Everybody knew about the P tape. And he just bribed them, I guess, or settled out of court or something. So if that's the case, then what are we basing the, all right, let's cancel him now? Okay, now. Why now? Why not later? Or why not before? Why not 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever it was? It seems like 20 years ago since we found out about the P tape. But all these things have to do with how talented versus how, what egregious of an act they commit. And Kelly did an egregious ass act. Now, speaking of people that are on their way out, let's call it, I'm questioning whether this gentleman is on his way out. Machine Gun Kelly. So, a few weeks ago, I was at Riot Fest, and it was really great. A couple of weeks ago, I guess now. It was a fantastic show. And one of the bigger overlaps of one of the evenings, sorry about that, was the Slipknot Machine Gun Kelly overlap. So there was an overlap. It's about a 15-minute overlap. So 15 minutes after MGK started, they started. And again, number one, his music, his pop punk music, I know that it was co-signed by Travis Barker. I know that he has endeared himself among, the punk rock elite and somehow ended up, getting the cosign from icons. And here's the thing, I'm okay with that. That's fine. But they're going to need to answer to, hey man, this guy is talking shit about one of current heavy music's icons. Like, if you fart tomorrow and you put it up and you put hashtag Corey Taylor, you will get 1 million hits because Corey Taylor is a media magnet machine, which is maybe why Mr. Kelly. What is it with these Kellys? Machine Gun Kelly, R.Kelly. We just should stay away from Kellys for the next. Let's just stay away from Kellys for a bit. So anyway, I'm at Riot Fest, and I was told after, because I was actually part of the crowd that was leaving. I was told that Machine Gun Kelly, as he saw a crowd of concert goers leave his show to attend Slipknot's headlining show on Saturday night, he said to them, you know what I'm glad I'm not? I'm glad I'm not 50 years old wearing a mask on stage. This coming from the guy with the pink guitar, singing like he's a 22-year-old, when in fact he's a 30-year-old father. Like, look, man, I get sticking to, I get the pop punk thing. It's great. It was fun in the 90s. And NoFX is still, well, they're not pop punk, but they're street punk. Either way, melodic punk. A lot of the melodic punk. MGK is not pop punk. I mean, I guess I hate to sound like a gatekeeper, but he was very successful with his beef with Eminem. He got a lot of attention. In fact, that might have been one of the first times I heard from him. But I don't think for 1 second that. Okay, so he says that. MGK says that first. And then he goes on Twitter or something and posts the fact that he had that there was a part that that Corey Taylor from Slipknot was going to be doing a singing part in Tickets to My Downfall, which is the name of his album, which I think is hilarious. He said basically that he fired Corey Taylor, and Corey Taylor responded with, "Listen, I'm a man. I'm paraphrasing. I'm a man. I don't do any of this back and forth, any of this child, whatever. But the reality was that I declined the position, or I declined the part in Tickets to My Downfall. And without further ado, the receipts." And of course, it was a back and forth between him and Travis Barker, who produced the album, talking about the part and, them going back and forth about lyrics. And you could tell that Corey was just like, I don't need this shit, man. He doesn't need this. Corey Taylor is the biggest name in heavy music right now, arguably. He doesn't need a feature. He doesn't need a feature from MGK. And the thought that Machine Gun Kelly was going to say some shit like that, and that Corey Taylor wasn't going to clap back, and then on top of that, the same week, he gets into a beef with Conor McGregor, the crazy ass Irish UFC fighter. Yeah. He got into a beef with Conor McGregor, and then he tried to punch a fan at one of the festivals that he was at because he was getting booed everywhere. The guy is, you know what? Maybe this is a meta thing. Maybe when I purchased my ticket for Riot Fest, maybe I didn't know that I was buying an actual ticket to his downfall. I had to say it. But it's the truth. Like, think about that. And it was just, oh God. And his music is just so, it's just, I don't know. I would have stuck to hip hop if I was him, and I would have definitely stayed away from Eminem because Eminem roasted him. That wasn't even fair. It wasn't even fair. But then he's got this with the Slipknot. You don't want to fuck with Slipknot fans, man. Look, I love the aesthetic and like all of the theatrics of Slipknot. I'm not a huge fan of their music. I think some of their music is really good, but it's just not my type of music, my style of music. I'm not into it. But I would never fuck with their fans. There's a ton of angry bro dudes that drink way too much Monster Energy. A couple of them probably are cops or cop adjacent. And they're just angry people. And this is coming from a hardcore kid. So I'm just saying it's not a group of people that you want at your shows booing you and then probably throwing stuff at you. So Kelly, Mr. Gun, Mr. Machine Gun, Colby, what the fuck is his real name? I think it's like Colby or Colton or Colson is his real name. Colson something or another. Listen, Colson something or another, Mr. Kelly, Mr. Machine Gun. I would just stay away from all of these people. Everybody that you've had beef with could kick your ass. Think about that. Corey Taylor could whoop your ass. Eminem's old ass could whoop your ass because he could whoop my ass probably. Or he's got people. He doesn't even need to do it. Like, that's the thing. Mr. Kelly, Mr. Machine Gun, Mr. Machine. Anyway. So, another thing that I guess we need to address is a comment last week. About Delta 8. So, Delta 8 is an isomer. An isomer of it's a Delta 8 THC. When we talk about THC, we're talking about Delta 9 THC typically. Delta 8 THC is the new thing. You know how we had CBD? Well, now this is another thing. And another isomer, another cannabinoid. And the thing is that much like with the CBD stuff in the beginning, a lot of it isn't FDA approved. And a lot of it is just, honestly, it's not the same thing. So, let me see if we can get Dr. Chanlatte on the horn and talk a little bit about this, because I think that it's a lot different coming from an actual doctor than it does coming from me. So yeah, I just want to know, how dangerous is this really? And you know, at the end of the day, I tasted it. It wasn't amazing. I'm not going to lie to you. I am not convinced. I have not been sold. I have not been sold on the efficacy, because I took a fat dab and it did not taste amazing. It didn't taste amazing. And I'll be honest with you, I don't need it. The only reason I was doing it was for the science. Science. So, I just reached out to Dr. Chanlatte and to see, but apparently, according to some of the people that were naysayers about the Delta 8 comments that were made on the last show. Let's see here. According to one of our buddies out in the coast, let's see. He says that it's kind of it's not it's pretty much on point, but not exactly. Delta 8 is not a synthetic cannabinoid because it is it's a classical cannabinoid found in nature. Now over 100 well-known classical cannabinoids. Okay, so it's a cannabinoid just like any other, just like CBD, just like all of that. Here's the difference. It doesn't come out naturally in plants. Yes, it's found. You can find Delta 8 THC in all cannabis. The problem is that you have... Here's the issue. The issue is the fact that it's only 1 or 2%. THC, Delta 8 THC. So when you're talking about THC, you're talking about Delta 9 THC. That's when you're getting the 28%, the 26%, the real high, and then on the lower end, 11, 12%. That's Delta 9 THC that you are measuring or that you're looking for. Delta 8 THC is going to be 1, 2%, is that kind of thing. And so the idea that you have a different isomer or a different cannabinoid on there in your legal weed, quote unquote, there's still, it could be still crap, because the thing is that when it's not FDA approved, and when it's not, when there is not an entity that is looking over it, that is looking over it. And I guess, again, I will also say that, my street weed, any street weed that you buy is not FDA approved, but it's just flower. It's not concentrate. It's different when it's concentrated. You can inspect the flower. You could see that whether or not, and if you're smoking that is just, something that's 0.2% THC, cool. But the chances are that if you're smoking flower that is high in THC, in Delta 8 THC, chances are that it's been artificially added. So it's sprinkled on. Sprinkle. So yeah, just know that. Finally, I wanted to talk about Hulaween. We got Hulaween coming up in a few weeks, and I have gotten a handful of very good ideas when it comes to Hulaween and what I'm going to wear. Because the thing is, normally I am not a festival guy when it comes to these. I'm not a festival getting dressed up guy. I don't do it because, frankly, I'm too lazy and I really don't want to do it. I don't want to. But this is going to be fun. This is going to be a good time, and it's in honor of my little brother, which is nice. So, but with that, I wanted to get some ideas for what to wear. What am I going to wear for Hulaween? Let's see here. So, let's see. These were my criteria. My criteria were, let's see. I don't want it to be, I don't want to do a lot. I want it to be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I want it to be like clever. I want it to, beard, tattoos, that kind of thing. That does the heavy lifting, so I don't need to worry about anything. And most of all, it just needs to be comfortable. So easy to do, comfortable. And I'm not doing Muhammad because I was already. One of you psychopaths wanted me to do Muhammad. No, I'm not doing Muhammad. I'm already doing Jesus. I can't just go through all of deities. Jackie says Silent Bob. I should go as Silent Bob. I might be able to do like a Spanish Silent Bob. Maybe do a Spanish Roberto Silencioso. So maybe that. Let's see here. I don't want to. Mob says I should recycle the Castro one from back in the day. No, I don't want to do Castro anymore. The Undertaker, that's good. let's see, some variation of Jason Momoa, which is ridiculous. I don't have the fucking muscles. I'd be a fat Jason Momoa. But, you know, it's cool. Let's see. As blonde Billie Eilish. What is... No. Let's see here. Let's see here. Jesus, obviously, I've already said. Yeah, I'm going to be Jesus. Aquaman, I was told Aquaman. Yeah. I need way more muscles for Aquaman. Let's see here. And this is my favorite. This is the reason why I am definitely doing Jesus. Because a worship pastor told me that I should do Jesus, different versions of Jesus, meaning like day 1, beaten, and day 2 is resurrection Jesus. That's fantastic. I might have to do that. That's good. That's good. Let's see here. Maui from Moana, I've been told. And, you know, let's see. The unknown comic. I don't get it. They want me to put on one of them old school tights and be a part of the, I guess, Hamilton. I guess they want me to be Hamilton. That would be interesting. Danny Trejo. I was given Danny Trejo. The dude from I don't know. He looks like I don't know. Hodor? Is that his name? I don't know. He's one of those nerd icon people. Let's see. For some reason, no, I'm not being a minion for Hulaween. Let's see here. Baba Voss from C. I don't know who that is. I have no idea. Slash. I was given Slash. I think that after a few hours of having a hat with my face full of my hair, I think it'd be a little annoying. But I appreciate the sentiment because I do like Slash. Great guitarist. So let's see. Who else? Oh, and the guy from the Shadows, the Between the Shadows, Within the Shadows, Through the Shadows, the vampire comedy. So, yeah, so apparently those are the ideas that my friends have of me for Hulaween. Hulaween happening, obviously, at the end of the month at Live Oak. It's going to be amazing. If you're going to be there, holler at me. I'm going to be there. Tonight, I will be at George's Tavern. So if you want to go to George's Tavern in Sanford, I start at 10. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, well, you missed a party, man. You missed a party. Make sure to subscribe to the Hijack on your favorite podcast platform. And make sure to go to the end.fm to subscribe to any of the shows, including the Hijack, the Monday Music Mix, and Irreverent. My name is DJ Zouain. You can find me anywhere on social media at DJ Zouain, and you can find me on all over the interwebs at DJ Zouain. You can find me at the end.fm. You can find me everywhere. As long as you search Zouain and DJ in the front of that, you'll be able to find me. Until then, I'm going to be at George's Tavern tonight at 10. You should be there too. Let's go have a drink. And other than that, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next week. Peace.